I think that's likely, Robert. Depends on if Clemson wins, it depends on how much they beat them by. But yeah, probably. SMU would probably get in as the 12 seed. And Clemson would get in 11 or 10 seed. I don't think Clemson's going to get in the top 4 to get a bye because I think, if Boise State wins, they're going to get the 4th spot. And Notre Dame will get the 5th spot. So. It'll be interesting to see where they rank these teams tonight. There's been a war going on Twitter between, well, I say a war between. It's mainly just Lane Kiffin. He's at war with everybody, it seems. Trying to make a case for his team to get into to the college football playoff. Now, I don't see a scenario where that happens. As a matter of fact, I'm predicting that South Carolina is going to be ranked ahead of both Alabama and Ole Miss tonight. And obviously, none of those teams are playing in their conference championship games. So that'll be where they stand going into the final ranking. What happened to my music? What's going on here? It's buffering. Yeah, the rankings start here at 7 o'clock in just a minute. So we'll open up the show. We'll take a look at that. Also, to keep an eye on Tulane. Tulane lost to an unranked Memphis on Thanksgiving. I think they're going to fall out of the top 25. They might still be at like 24 or 25, but any chance of 2 group of 5 teams getting in the playoffs pretty much died on Thursday night when Tulane lost at home, by the way. To an unranked Memphis team. Totally unrelated to the football season. Clemson plays Kentucky tonight in bouncy ball. That's right. Clemson versus Kentucky. If you look at those two teams, you say, well, obviously Kentucky's better than Clemson. Well, it's a 1-point spread. Kentucky favored by 1 point against the Taters. Turns out Clemson has a pretty good basketball team this year. So I'll be tuning into that. Not a huge basketball fan, but Clemson's playing Kentucky. I'm watching it. Brenda says, I'm sorry, I'm a Clemson fan. I guess you mean a Clemson fan. Don't be sorry. Yeah, don't be sorry. I don't blame you. I mean, the funniest thing ever is if Clemson gets to the playoffs and South Carolina doesn't after they just beat them. That would be funny. I mean, having said that, objectively, I do think that South Carolina is one of the best 12 teams in the country. But that doesn't mean they're going to get in, though. You know. All right, just waiting on Sea-Dog to hop in here. He might be a couple minutes late. I don't know what's going on with him, but doesn't matter. We'll watch the ranking show either way to start the show off here. Going to be kind of a laid-back show tonight. First of all, there's only one game to talk about this week in the ACC. Oh, yeah, I'm going to turn this shit off. I can't do that. There's only one game to talk about in the ACC this week. That's Clemson and SMU. So we'll just have some people on and talk about some of the stuff that happened last weekend, some of the college football playoff predictions and conference championship predictions and that kind of thing. Then we'll get off of here. All right, here we go with the rankings. Oh, I say here we go with the rankings. It's going to take them a minute probably to start putting these up, but let's see who's in here while we're waiting on that. We got Yoda is here, committed. Robert. Dennis Wilson's in the house. He says Clemson and Georgia Tech money. What do you mean by that? I must be missing some kind of conversation that's going on in the chat here. Slim Shady Canes. Brenda. Valentine, Jarrett Barker. I hope Clemson can win so they can make the playoff. Not my team, but still rooting for them out of the ACC. Yeah, you bring up a good point. And welcome my co-host Sea Dog and of course the one, the only Slim Shady Canes to the show as well. He makes a great point here. I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong, guys. Now Miami might not be rooting for Clemson because, well, they might be just be mad at him for taking their spot. Although they should be mad at themselves, or maybe they think if Clemson loses, that gives them a better chance to get in the playoffs along with SMU. But other than that, every fan of an ACC team should be rooting for Clemson this weekend. We cannot let these fucking wannabe cowboys come into our conference and win it the first year. That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
I'm not gonna lie, it don't make a shit's bit of difference to me whether or not they win it.
I already missed the first 5 rankings on my rant there. But 20 UNLV, 19 Missouri, 18 BYU. Really, 16 through 25 is pretty much irrelevant at this point. 17 Clemson. So Clemson falls from, where were they, 13 last week? No, 12. From 12 to 7, so they fall 5 spots. But they control their own destiny as far as the playoff is concerned. So their ranking really doesn't matter at this point. I'm assuming, okay, Iowa State 16. So here we go. I think what you're going to see here is you're going to see Alabama, Ole Miss 15 maybe. Alabama 14. And okay, Arizona State 15. So 14 Alabama. Well, here's what I'm predicting. I'm predicting that South Carolina is going to jump both Alabama and Ole Miss with their win over Clemson. And maybe that will get Lane Kiffin to stop tweeting all day about them being in the playoff.
No, that'll just make Lane Kiffin whine and cry even more.
Yeah, this guy tweets from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to bed at night about the playoffs.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Oh my God. South Carolina at 14. South Carolina just lost their chance at making the playoffs based on that ranking right there. Alabama's going to get in ahead of them.
I don't think so.
You don't?
No, and here's why. Remember last year, they didn't drop Florida State out of it until the final ranking after conference championships.
That's true. But how would they? Ole Miss is ahead of South Carolina. This is unbelievable. But here, Slim, there's no way. None of those teams are playing this weekend. South Carolina, Ole Miss, or Alabama. They're all sitting at home. So how would one of them jump the other?
Listen, Florida State won the ACC and dropped. It ain't got to make sense. It's the playoff committee.
Yeah, you do have a point there. Oh man, if I'm South Carolina, I'm feeling really disrespected right now. And I know you're going to tell me Ole Miss won head to head. I understand that, and that does have to matter. 12 Miami. They got Alabama ranked ahead of Miami, Slim. Boy, they're trying everything.
They're trying to give the Gumps a little hope.
Dude, they're doing it. I'm going to go ahead and predict it right now. Alabama's playing in the playoffs. They're going to do anything they can do to get them in there.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
If you have 3 losses, I'm sorry, but you don't belong in the playoffs.
Well,
I mean, I get it. It's an expanded field.
Yeah, there's no way you can't have. You have to have 3 lost teams in there.
You don't have to.
Is there
Miami at all?
I'd put Miami in there.
Okay, but is there 12 teams with only 2 losses? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Who?
Yes,
Well,
they're
okay,
12.
okay.
You can.
If you have 2 losses and you lose the conference championship, then fine. I'm talking about if you have 3 regular season losses.
Alabama at 11. They are the first team in.
That's
Because
dumb.
Yeah, I'm calling it now. Alabama's going to be playing in the playoffs. And they might even get, if Clemson beats SMU, Alabama will be seated ahead of Clemson. So they would probably get the 10 or 11 seed, and Clemson would get the 11th or 12th seed. Unbelievable. Boise State 10. That's not an easy game for them. UNLV is not a bad team. Now, they did play them earlier in the year. They did beat UNLV, but that doesn't mean they're going to beat them again. Although I expect them to. I mean, this is the last game before the Heisman voting happens, so I bet Genty's going to go off. They're going to give him all the opportunities they can to.
I don't think it matters. They're not giving a Group of 5 player the Heisman.
That doesn't mean they're not.
They've never done it before.
That doesn't mean
they think they're going to do it now.
I'm not saying they're going to do it, but from a Boise State standpoint, they're going to do everything they can do to try to get it to them in this last game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, people do useless shit every day, so add that to the list.
Yeah. Indiana at number 9. I guess they're in no matter what.
Yeah. I thought
and they should be, though.
they would. I thought they were going to go to the title game, but I guess it's Penn State instead.
Yeah, it's Penn State.
Well, that's interesting.
So I disagree with Sea-Dog's statement about no 3-loss teams in the playoffs, just because you do have to give some sort of a recognition to who you're playing, right? Otherwise, everyone should just schedule. Like, why would Clemson go out and schedule a Georgia when they can just go schedule a nobody, like what Indiana did and like what, a bunch of other teams did. Ole Miss for one, but aside from that, though, I do think they need to fix this automatic bid problem. There should not be a 3-loss team getting an automatic bid in a bye. That's silly.
Well, unless they win a conference.
Well, that's how.
Okay, so you're saying that Clemson shouldn't get an automatic bid because they're going to be.
I don't think they should get. I don't think that they should get a bye with 3 losses, no matter what they do this weekend.
From the looks of it, they're probably not going to.
I know, but if
both Arizona State and Boise are ahead of you.
Right, but let's say both them lost and Clemson won, Clemson would get the bye with 3 losses. I don't think that's right. I don't know why they can't just rank them the way that they're doing, 1 through 12, and seed them that way. Why does it have to be, Well, I mean, if Boise loses, they're out. If Arizona State loses, they're out. So. Still don't think a 3-loss team should be getting a bye. Unless there's like 6 or 7 3-loss teams in the playoffs, which isn't going to happen. Let's see here. SMU 9 or 8 rather. Tennessee 7, Ohio State 6. So Ohio State not punished that much in retrospect for that embarrassing loss to their rival. They're definitely in too. All these teams are definitely in now, no matter what. Georgia 5. So they got Notre Dame ranked ahead of Georgia. It's gonna be Notre Dame at 4. Right? Yeah, Notre Dame 4.
That right there tells you there's going to be changes in the rankings. Notre Dame can't be the 4 seed by rule.
Oh, yeah. Well, the ranking and the seeding are 2 different things, Slim. Because of the automatic bids. I mean, Clemson could finish the season ranked 15th, but still get the 12th seed in the playoff. So 3 is going to be Penn State, 2 Texas, 1 is going to be Oregon. So that's your top 25 there. So really nothing surprises me out of that. The only thing that really surprises me is the fact that Alabama's ranked as high as they are. And in comparison to Ole Miss and South Carolina.
Well, and here's another thing I think is going to come into play. Winners and losers of conference championships, I think, are going to affect rankings. because I mean, say for the sake of argument, Texas wins the SEC, Georgia takes its third loss. That win means less for Alabama the next day.
Yeah. Yes, things are going to move around a little bit, but I'm telling you, is it possible that Alabama gets left out? Yes. I'm giving them, based on their rankings tonight, about an 80% chance of making the playoffs now. They've told us what they think about Alabama. And
I still feel good about our best.
And as far as Ole Miss and South Carolina go, I think your hopes just went right down the drain. First of all, I don't think Ole Miss had a shot in the first place, but somehow they're ranked ahead of South Carolina. So South Carolina, your hopes
which makes no sense.
Your hopes of getting in are definitely done. Definitely. So.
And I think that goes to my point of the emblems on the side of the helmets carry different amounts of weight. And I think that kind of proves my point I made about South Carolina. And that wasn't a slight at South Carolina. That's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, Brenda wants to know, is SMU that good? I don't think that they are. What do you think about that? So first of all, I'm not saying they're bad. They're a good team. If you look at the games that they've won a bunch of close games against bad teams. Again, overtime, they lost to a missed field goal by Duke. They won by, I think, 1 or 2 points against Nevada.
It wasn't even a missed field goal, man. He went for 2 instead of the extra.
Yeah, that's right.
Instead of the.
That's right. That's
instead
right.
of going to another overtime.
Yeah, that's right. Just a couple of weeks ago, they almost lost to Boston College. That was a close game. I think it was 3 or 4 points. And they got beat by BYU. They have a really good defense, and they have a very good running game, which is the only thing that worries me against Clemson, is because Clemson's run defense is the weakness of their defense. They've got a guy who's ran for 1,200 yards this year and like 14 touchdowns. So he's a good running back, and they have a good running game. Quarterback-wise,
I get it's in vogue to shit on BYU, but BYU's 10-2.
I know. If Clemson played BYU tomorrow, Clemson be favored for a reason.
Yeah, probably, but that doesn't mean you'd win the game either, though.
I think they would. But here's my point. The quarterback, if you're comparing quarterbacks, Cade Klubnik's just way better than this Kevin Jennings guy. He's decent, but he's got 2,700 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He's not lighting the world on fire. That offense runs through that running back.
It does.
So, and again, that's Clemson's weakness. I think there's probably going to be a lot of points scored in this game. The over-under is pretty high, too. It's somewhere around 60, 58, 59, something like that. But this is the point I made on the Lunch Money show last night. This is going to be the best team that SMU's faced all year, in my opinion. Now, you could say BYU if you think BYU is better than Clemson. That's fine. But I think Clemson's better than BYU. So I'm saying this is going to be the best team they faced all year. This might be the 3rd or 4th best team Clemson's played this year. They haven't really been tested by a great team.
Okay, but you also do have common opponents, and y'all lost and they won.
Which one? The one common opponent, Louisville.
There you go. And, well, y'all have 2 common opponents, Pitt.
Oh, yeah.
Off the top of my head. You may have more, but that's just off the top of my head.
Yeah. So they beat Pittsburgh in Dallas. We beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. But
yeah, they destroyed Pittsburgh in Dallas.
Yeah, it was like
that game was over in the first quarter.
It was like 44-25 or something. But yeah, look. I think SMU's a good team. But
okay, well, I'm going to use the Clemson man excuse here. They put up garbage touchdowns on the water boy in the fourth quarter.
What are you talking about? Oh, Pitt?
Yes.
Oh.
It was garbage time in the fourth quarter with 15 points. Good Lord, lady.
Well, we'll look here. Somebody's asking about. I'll pull it up because I think this is worth noting here. SMU football schedule. All right. All right, so last week they played Cal. Obviously, Cal's not very good. They beat the shit out of them 38-6. That game was over from the word go. They beat the tar out of Virginia 33-7 in Virginia. The week before that, November the 16th, SMU has a 10-point victory over Boston College. For some reason, I thought that game was closer than that. Well, actually, Boston College was leading in the fourth quarter. I guess SMU came back and put their foot on their neck late in the game. But yeah, Boston College was leading that game in the fourth quarter. Pittsburgh 48-25. This is the game that we were talking about just now in overtime where Manny Diaz decided to go for it 2 instead of kicking the extra point to take it to extra overtimes. So they lost by 1 point. Duke lost by 1 point to SMU there. They beat the shit out of Stanford 40-10. 34-27, a one touchdown game against Louisville at Louisville. They beat the tar out of Florida State like everybody did. Sorry, Florida State people. SMU 66-42 over TCU. Now that's alarming, giving up 42 points to TCU.
Rivalry game.
This is their one lonely loss way back in early September, 18-15, low scoring game there. BYU on top. That game was in Dallas, so they lost a home game to BYU. And then they started out the season with 2 cupcakes, HCU, whatever that is, 59-7. And let's not forget their week 1 matchup against Nevada. A late score, I think, with 5 seconds left to go up 29-24 over Nevada. So there you go. I think
it was post BYU is when they made the quarterback change too.
Is that right?
Or maybe been during the BYU game. It was right around in there. Yeah.
Okay. So listen, this is not the toughest schedule in the world. It's not the toughest schedule in the ACC. I mean, their out of conference is pretty mediocre to say the least. But
TCU, I get to Seattle's point. That's a rivalry game, and I don't know. Like early on in the season, it's like they were trying to start a holy war. BYU, TCU,
FSU.
Yeah, a lot to use.
Well, no. They played a bunch of religious schools.
Right, yeah.
Houston Christian or something like that.
Yeah, they played
a bunch of religious schools.
They played everybody but the Jews, I think. But
is there a Jew university? I don't know.
But they did get lucky in the draw from the AC. They didn't have to play Clemson. They didn't have to play Miami. They didn't even have to play Georgia Tech.
They didn't play Notre Dame either. So they had a much easier path, I believe, than either Clemson or Miami did to the ACC championship game. But they won the games they were supposed to win. They got in there. So that's all that matters. Which, by the way, I mean, speaking of conferences handing people easy schedules, like how long has Notre Dame been scheduling with the ACC? And we played Notre Dame in 16 and 17. That's it.
It's been 7 or 8 years we've been doing this with Notre Dame. Since like 16 or 17, somewhere around there. Where's my Notre Dame people at? How long you guys been playing this quasi-ACC schedule? It's been almost 10 years.
I think it started before then. Like I said, we played them in 16 and 17. That's it.
Yeah. So, Sea-Dog, I'm going to take you down a very painful memory lane here.
Oh, boy.
Do you want to just tell us? Now, first of all, I watched virtually the entire live stream with you and Rec Talk.
Yeah.
It was extremely entertaining. I'll tell you that.
Well, I'm glad.
And I was pulling for you. Of course I was.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was hard. It was just unbelievable the way that game unfolded. So, well, take us through the game.
It's a long journey.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. First of all, I had to go. It was Thanksgiving, and then I had to go. I went to Tennessee to have Thanksgiving with my wife's family that morning. So I drove up to Tennessee that morning and drove back for the game to hang out at Reg Talk's house. So that was fun.
I'm sure your wife was thrilled about.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Like, she got to spend the night with her family, and I had to go home to like let the dogs out and everything anyway. So,
what did you say? What part of Tennessee her parents live? Is it in Knoxville?
They're near Knoxville.
Okay.
But so I was on the road all of Friday and Saturday, basically. But it was, I mean, we got there and we were hyped. Like my brother, obviously, we went up 17-0, and then that's when people started bringing up, the prior like 3 times that we've lost to them after going up 17-0. So that was fun to see. And then, we're streaming the game and it's great. And I don't know, apparently obviously we were dominating them. We were pushing around, and really it wasn't surprising to me. Like, I've been saying that this rivalry is going to become a rivalry again. It's going to be one of those throw your record out the window type things. And I've been getting laughed at, but I hope people see what I've been talking about now. Like, this kind of happened last year. I mean, they were, going to the playoffs last year, and they beat us by 8. I mean, we gave them all they wanted. So obviously no moral victories. I'm just saying, like, this is going to be, this is going to be competitive in the future. And, and it was, and it didn't surprise me. It just, God dang, what a freaking gut-wrenching way to lose. I mean, we look like the better team, for most of the game until really the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you really did.
I mean, Lou brought up a good point on the midday show. Like, once you got into overtime, Buster Faulkner just got away from what was working, which was Haynes King running the ball.
Yeah, I was yelling at the TV like I yell at the TV when Clemson does shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, that was unbelievable. I mean, the best player on the field for the entire night was Haynes King. And when the game's on the line, you don't put it, you give it to your best player in the toughest time of the game, period. Now, I realize as a quarterback, he touches the ball every play, but, I mean, they had no answer for him all night with his legs.
Yeah, there was definitely, we finally did it. We had a chance to walk it off. We got the PI call and we called it, but I guess it was too late by then because it didn't work in the 7th overtime.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody remembers, but like, we had the chance to walk it off there. And we even got like the PI that we were on like the 1.5 yard line, and we had Haynes King run it. God dang, that would have been the perfect moment to freaking win the game. Like, you have Haynes King like killing it all game, and then he has the chance to freaking walk it off there at the end. I mean, we just come up short, and like, and y'all know I've been put through a lot since I've started my channel. This is up there.
Yeah,
it's one of the worst losses I've ever seen. Not like,
I mean, if you didn't try shitting on Miami so much, I might actually feel bad for you.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna not shit on Miami. So,
well, he literally shit on himself during the stream. I saw it.
Yeah, man, I was nervous wreck. That game took. I mean, the freaking regulation time took years off my life. Then we go into 8 overtimes, the second longest game in college football history.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, damn. And I don't know, it just seemed like everything was really lining up for us to win. And I feel like they just outlasted us in the end. They have a lot more depth, obviously. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, this was heartbreaking, and a lot of people have been saying things to try to comfort Tech fans, like, well, Brent Key's got you headed in the right direction. Haynes King is him. You get him for another year. That kind of stuff, to try to cheer me up, I guess. But, man, I already knew that stuff,
Hey, which all sounds good until the coaching carousel starts and Brent Key gets plucked away.
Yeah, buddy, you keep freaking talking about that, but it's yet to happen.
You say it's yet to happen. We talked about this on the midday show for the people that weren't listening. Georgia Tech's entire coaching budget is $10 million.
Okay.
$10 million.
What do you want me to say, man? He's not going anywhere.
There are schools. Okay, rah home team all you want until somebody's waving more than double your pay in your face.
Did you see him? He was like crying after the game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was crying after the game. He had to be consoled by Kirby Smart for 5 minutes, which was weird.
I mean, it
And
is
then,
weird. And like normally I'd be like, okay, but
I mean, I understand he was emotional, but
after 8 overtimes.
Yeah, there was some serious bromance going on there.
yeah, some bromance going on.
More so,
And then
it was almost like a Sea Dog and Wreck moment.
and then he stared at the scoreboard after the game for like 2 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, in probably any other circumstance, I'd probably have a problem with it. But, I mean, after 8 overtimes, like, it is what it is.
Thank you, Caden, for the super chat. Caden the man says, how's it going? It's been a while, fellas. Yeah, well, we've been here.
Yeah, we've been here.
Yeah.
You've been inexplicably absent.
Yes. Well, thank you, but Ohio State, I changed my mind. Ohio State's not winning the national championship. They're not good enough. So, well, hell, they're not even good enough to win the Big Ten, let alone the national championship.
Yeah, what happened to him putting Chip Kelly and Ryan Day in their place? What happened to that?
I don't know. Was that the funniest loss of the weekend? It had to be, right?
Ohio State.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, yeah.
They're like 24-point favorites or something.
I mean, that is not a good Michigan team.
No, it's not. The best player for Ohio State's playing quarterback for Syracuse.
I mean, now I'm kind of hoping Ohio State fans get what they want and they fire Ryan Day. Because Urban Meyer ain't walking back in that door, buddy. Jim Tressel ain't walking back in that door. Y'all fixing to go back to the Kirk Herbstreit level suck nuts.
Yeah, I don't even know if they were to fire Ryan Day, like who would they be able to get that was an upgrade over Ryan Day at this point?
Well, according to the Ohio State man on Twitter, the possibility of Ryan Day being fired is why Mike Grable only signed a 1-year contract with the Browns.
Nick Saban, no, stop it. He ain't no. Why would he do that?
That's the one I keep hearing is Mike Grable.
So on a similar, slightly related note, I watched Russ's video today. Y'all know him, right? The North Carolina fan.
Russ?
I know him.
Russ, the Tar Heel guy.
I don't think I know who that is. No.
He's a cool guy. Y'all should give him a subscribe. ACC brethren.
What's the name? What's the name of his channel?
The Tar Heel Huddle.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. And he made a top 3 of his coaching search. And what was one of the Sutherland, the guy from Tulane?
Yeah.
Was one he wanted, and then who was his second one? Oh yeah, Matt Campbell. He wanted Matt Campbell from Iowa State, which
that's an interesting one. That's more possible than some of the ones that I've heard.
Yeah, I thought that was more possible than his number 1, which was Deion Sanders.
Well, one that was really floating around was Jamie Chadwell, but apparently he's taking the job at UCF to replace Gus Malzahn, so that one's out the window.
That's a really good hire for UCF, by the way.
Yeah, I think so too.
But
UCF hire coach, who they are? I didn't.
Jamie Chadwell that's the rumor that he's accepted the job. They're just working out the details of the contract. I don't know.
Okay.
And
I haven't been on the internet much today.
Carousel crap, we've already survived. We've survived having our AD taken and our OC. They were gonna pay him. They were gonna drop a bag to hire him at Oklahoma as their OC, and he didn't take it or it fell through or something or the other. But all I know is he's not leaving. So,
Coaching carousel is not done. Really hasn't even gotten fired up yet. I think with that signing day being moved to the beginning of December, you're going to see more after signing day fires.
Well,
programs are going to get through signing day.
Yeah.
And then
I think that's probably true.
Start making changes.
Well, usually there's a domino effect that happens when these firings happen because coaches leave to go take another job somewhere else, then you have to replace them. So, but if you're Georgia Tech, first of all, I think you're safe this year. I don't think I think Brett Key will be the head coach next year. But I think Slim is right. If he continues to be successful, it's going to be harder and harder to turn down these bigger jobs for a lot more money. Yeah. But that's number one. Number two is you're about to get your athletic director stolen by South Carolina. That might be even a bigger deal.
No, that's what I was saying, but that fell through, or he didn't take the job.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great news for you then.
Oh, that's bigger than any position coach or any player leaving at all. I mean, our RAD, if for those of you that don't know, we fired RAD the same time we fired Jeff Collins, and the new guy we got has raised like a ton of money, and he's been just killing it.
That's what I got. See, Rec Talk made a video responding to me saying that Georgia Tech doesn't care about football, which I was only halfway serious when I said that. I was kind of trolling you, but anyway, the Georgia Tech fans in his comment section get laid into me about how I don't know anything about Georgia Tech because they raised $300 million for the football program this year or something. So
you got to understand.
You raised $300 million for the football program, but your university is $300 million in debt.
We hear that all the time.
So
we're like jaded.
So at best, you're broken even right now.
If you've raised $300 million for your football program, why are you only paying Brent Key $3 million or less than $3 million?
He took a pay cut. And I'm sure he'll get a bump this year, but he took a pay cut so that he could pay his staff more.
Yeah, but
okay, why aren't they paying the staff more?
They are. Buster Faulkner's the highest paid OC that we've ever. He's the highest we've ever paid at OC.
Congratulations. Guess what? That's not good enough.
Well, guess what? He's not leaving.
Miami was in the exact same position.
Well, he's not leaving. So
you're going to get left behind in college football.
Listen, Sea-Dog.
Continuing to be cheap.
Look, I'm not saying we're not being cheap, but first of all. Second of all,
yes, you are.
We're like where we need to be, like final. I'm not saying we've arrived or whatever. I'm just saying that the notion that we don't care about football or we're not doing enough is dumb.
Well, Garrett Riley was the offensive coordinator for a playoff team in that, and he got plucked away by Clemson. Why? Why did he go to Clemson? Why did he leave TCU to come to Clemson?
Money?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you can push that he's a Georgia Tech alum until you're blue in the face. Guess what? Kirby Smart's a Georgia alum. They ain't getting no hometown discount. Kirby Smart wants his fucking money.
That's fine.
Same thing goes with Mario Cristobal. Same thing goes with every coach everywhere. They want the money.
Brett says
fine.
what?
Well, I'm sure we'll get him. I mean, we're going to get him paid.
Brett says, what's this horse shit ranking? Which ranking you're referring to? Georgia's ranking or Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Alabama? I don't know. But yeah. Well, here's the thing. Again, if you raise $300 million, you better start paying Faulkner like yesterday.
Yes.
What's he making now?
1.1 million.
Okay. Double that. At least double it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And at minimum, you're going to have to double Brent Key's pay.
Yeah.
At an absolute minimum.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I'm sure.
Yeah, the going rate.
Double.
The going rate.
You realize a guy that has never been a head coach is making almost double what Brent Key's making in Michigan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the going rate for a coach like Brent Key right now has got to be somewhere in the $7 to $8 million range.
Yeah. Well,
the going rate for an OC is $5 million. No, it's not. What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
OC?
No, it's not.
There's not a single $5 million offensive coordinator in the country.
I mean, are NFL OCs even getting $5 million a year? I don't think so.
So Garrett Riley, I think, is the second or third highest paid, and he's making like 2.6, something like that. Gus Malzahn just got hired for close to $4 million. Holy shit, boy, they really are desperate.
Man.
Well,
I mean,
that would make him the highest paid offensive coordinator in the country, wouldn't it? There's not anybody making $4 million, is there? What's Chip Kelly making at fucking Ohio State?
I don't think Chip Kelly's making $4 million.
Maybe 3 or probably less than 3. Oh, because of the buyout.
Coordinators are somewhere $2.5 million.
Yeah. Monken's the highest paid, I believe, and he's making just over 3. So, and they want him fired too. Everybody wants everybody fired, boy. I tell you, this is that time of the year.
Oh, dude, the fucking Miami fans are talking about firing Shannon Dawson. I'm like, you people have lost your fucking minds.
do you want to fire Guidry or whatever?
They want to fire him too. Some of them want to fire Mario.
They, not you.
No, I'm not. No, I wouldn't fire a single person.
Todd Monken's the best offensive coordinator in the country. Yeah, I don't know about that, buddy. Georgia Tech's got something to say about that. I think Georgia Tech's offensive coordinator might be better. Huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, I would look to the number one offense in the country and say that's probably at the top of the list.
Yeah, I'm not saying Monken's a bad. I think he's good. And the people that are talking about fire Monken are that's just ridiculous. I don't even agree with the people that are saying to fire Garrett Riley. I don't understand where they're coming from. I mean,
isn't Monken at Buffalo?
Yeah.
He was the OC at Georgia.
They talking about Bobo? Y'all are confusing me.
Yeah, I meant Bobo.
Okay, because you keep saying Monken, and I'm like, wait a minute, he's in the NFL.
So, somebody type Monken in the chat, and yeah, Bobo. Yeah, he's the offensive coordinator for the Ravens, I think.
Yeah, fucking guess what? Mike Bobo isn't the problem. Carson Beck is your problem.
Yeah.
That and your shit ass wide receiver core.
Yeah, Beck's having a terrible year. Listen, I'm going to bring this guy on just for a minute. But you got 90 seconds, sir.
Hello, fellas.
Hey, Caden, how's it going, buddy?
Pete, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's been a while, so I just figured I'd come in and explain myself.
Okay,
where I've gone.
All right. Go ahead.
But first of all, I went on just a few trips around. Just had some personal business and also went on some trips. Won't say where.
You sound different. Does he not sound different to you guys?
He does sound different.
You sound like halfway normal. Go ahead.
Well, just
Did
changed
they
a couple
finally
things.
get your medication right?
So, all right.
Just hear me out.
All right, go ahead.
Slim and Pete.
Okay.
Like I said,
All right.
I've had some personal things come up, and then I've had some then I went on a couple trips. Won't say where, but
Why won't you say
it was
where?
fun.
Is it a government secret where you went on a trip to?
Were
I
those voluntary trips?
Did you go to jail, dude?
No, I went on a soccer club trip.
Oh. Why was that so hard? All right, see, this is why. Go ahead.
Just like traveling around, seeing different soccer clubs, and just like across Europe, and they're pretty cool.
Across Europe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's the inferior sport. So
Is Ohio State just as embarrassing in Europe as they are in the States?
Actually, some of the soccer clubs in Europe, honestly, they got some nice unis.
No, I don't care about soccer. I'm talking about Ohio State. But did you? This is a stupid question. Obviously, you got a chance to see that embarrassing loss to Michigan again for what, the 4th year in a row. What happened, man?
I was luckily in time back for that. So, but yeah, and then I saw the fight that broke out after the game, and I was like,
Yeah. If
now
the
it
players
really
had
turned
half that
better.
fight during the game, they might have won it.
Well, and here's my opinion: they should have not got the police and the security in there. They should have just let them kids fight. I mean, don't stop them.
In my opinion, the fights aren't that big of a deal. Like,
Why, can you explain why Ohio State police were only macing Michigan players?
Yeah.
Now, say that again, Slim. I you didn't say that clearly enough.
The Ohio State police did not mace any Ohio State players. They only maced Michigan players. Why is that?
I have honestly no clue.
I'm just
I
curious.
honestly don't.
I think I know why.
I think I know why too.
Because
but
they're
I'm
Ohio
just
State
theory.
police and they hate Michigan just as much as the players do. You know what would have been funny is if they maced Sharon Moore.
if I was on the police force for Georgia Tech and I had the chance to mace Michigan, Georgia players, I would.
Would you mace Kirby Smart?
Of course. I'd mace him in his stupid bowl haircut.
So wait a minute. Is your dream job to join the Athens Clark County PD?
Oh yeah, dude.
If you tried to mace Carson Beck, you'd have to mace him from the side because that's where his eyes are.
Damn.
Man, that's more fucked up than a soup sandwich.
Yeah, I've honestly had a couple months of just some fun and just trying to see my just with some friends that I went on this club trip with to Europe. So, it was pretty cool, Pete. I'll tell you what, you are missing out on the unis. The unis are absolutely awesome.
There's fewer things I give a shit less about than soccer uniforms.
Hey, well, Paris Saint-Germain, let me just say this. Paris Saint-Germain has the hottest looking uniforms.
Yeah. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Listen, you may not care, but I mean, I seen them unis. I was like,
yeah, we got you. They got
nice.
cool uniforms. That's great.
Hey, you should try going on like a little bit, at least a trip, maybe once or twice to Europe. It's at least nice.
Oh, yeah, I would like to go to Europe. I'd like to go back to my homeland.
Travel to some soccer clubs while you're at it. They're pretty nice.
Yeah. All right. Is that it? You've been over 90 seconds
Yeah, and I just thought I'd just come on here and just explain myself because I didn't explain myself like the last. How long has it been?
We've all been wondering. We've been asking every week.
Because I haven't.
Yeah, where's
kept
Caden?
track.
Did you run into Volusia over there? No, he's gone. Anyway. Nature Boy says, I would run off to Europe too if my team was Ohio State. Boy, that was a calm and collected, I'd never heard him like that before. Usually he's yelling and telling everybody to shut up. And
Yeah, that's why I wondered if that trip he was talking about was voluntary or not. I thought, well, maybe somebody finally had him committed and they got the dosage right.
yeah, maybe he finally got laid over there in Europe. Calmed him down a little bit.
I mean, I've heard those European women are pretty easy.
Yeah, losing is sobering. Yeah. Tell me about it.
Either that or he found one of those German dominatrixes.
Oh, God. Well, I want to get you guys' opinion. I already gave you my opinion on Clemson and SMU. Sea-Dog, what do you think? Like, how do you see this game playing out?
I guess Clemson, but I'm like, it's like a not very confident pick. I don't know.
Yeah, everybody seems to say the same thing. I don't know. What do you think, Slim?
Well,
I'd pick Clemson, but
I'm kind of with you. I think SMU strengths play well to Clemson's weaknesses, and
hey, look,
I don't think SMU's defense is as good as South Carolina's, but you're going to need Cade Klubnik to be Superman to win this game, and I just don't know if he's going to do it.
One thing though, is I'm cheering for Clemson because it would make me sick for a new
thank you
team to come in. Hey, I realized this that I haven't seen anybody talking about. Is it possible that in the Big Ten, in every single Power Four conference?
Yes, in every conference, a new team is very likely fixing to win it. Because I don't think Penn State stands a snowball's chance in hell against Oregon.
No.
Arizona State looks like the hottest team in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Texas could get.
I don't think Georgia has not gotten better as the season's gone on.
No, they haven't.
We're playing with fire.
Yeah, and the fact that you go to 8 overtimes with Georgia Tech, and then a week later you got to play Texas again. Yeah. And that's not even getting into, it's hard to beat the same team twice.
Oh, yeah, that's us opening the jar.
I agree with SEC Dog in the chat. I said that last night on the Lunch Money Show. Clemson's just more battle-tested than SMU. Even if all things are created equal and they're equal team. But first of all, they're not. I mean, talent-wise, Clemson's more talented than SMU. But all things being equal, I'm taking the team that's been in some knockdown, drag-out fights with some good teams. And SMU just really hasn't. I haven't really faced that much adversity other than Duke on the road and Nevada week 1.
And BYU.
Well, yeah.
And Boston College.
Yeah.
See, I completely disagree with that statement. I think they're just as battle-tested as Clemson.
They haven't played anybody close to Georgia or South Carolina. Not even close.
Well, okay, but two games doesn't make 2 games you lost, by the way, don't make you battle-tested.
Yeah, well, Clemson had to blow a 10-point lead in the second half to lose to South Carolina, and it was, we saw how the game ended there. That was Clemson.
Well, guess what? My team blew a 21-point lead, so I got to be there.
I understand. And guess what? I'd pick Miami to beat SMU, too, if they played for the same reasons.
Well, I think Miami's a better matchup. Like, to your point, Clemson's weak against the run. We're not.
Yeah. One of the biggest disasters of the whole weekend was a crime against humanity and a crime against Clemson fans and the Clemson team was taking your leading tackler, your best defensive player in the entire game, out for almost the entire fourth quarter for no reason. No reason. He wasn't hurt.
Conspiracy theory.
No conspiracy theory. It's just a dumb decision. I always talk about this with coaches, how they they outsmart themselves. Instead of just sticking with what's working, they change things in trying to predict that the other team thinks that they're not going to change something. And they outsmart themselves. It doesn't make any sense. So when they asked Dabo about it, they said, why did your leading tackler get benched in the fourth quarter? Sammy Brown. Especially, he's a middle linebacker, and the problem is containing Sellers. He's the only one that had any success at all at trying to contain Sellers the whole fucking game, Slim. And they don't put him in the fourth. He played 2 snaps in the fourth quarter. And Dabo goes, oh, well, we thought they were going to change up their offensive game plan because they were behind and we needed more speed on the field, so we took him off and replaced him with somebody faster. Yeah. He goes, it wasn't the right decision, but it was the decision we made. Yeah, no shit, it wasn't the right decision. Why the fuck would you do that?
Well, that's like, I don't understand why when you had a 21-point lead, you decided not to start just running the ball and burning clock. Because you know your secondary can be had.
Yeah.
Syracuse is a pass-first team. I would have slowed down the pace of the game. Damian Martinez was getting like 8-9 yards a carry.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I was yelling at the TV during that game saying the same thing you were saying. Like, why are they fucking throwing it right now? The clock is on your side.
Because I've said it for weeks. I think they're trying to win Cam Ward the Heisman.
Yeah.
And I think it's leading them to make decisions that they wouldn't normally.
Yeah. You might be right about that. Because it really didn't make any sense.
No, it didn't. And, it really just turned out that fumble by Restrepo, I mean, it was a shootout, and that fumble by Restrepo was the deciding factor of the game. That was the one mistake.
By the way, this was one of the best rivalry weekends ever. I mean, just amazing game after amazing.
Hell, man, fucking Miami fans are turning on Restrepo because that man had fumbles in back-to-back weeks.
Oh, please!
Which, by the way, are the only 2 fumbles he's had all year.
Yeah, come on, he's the best player on the offense outside of Cam Ward.
Yeah, believe me, I know. It goes even beyond that. He holds every record a wide receiver can hold, and he's also the only receiver in the history of Miami to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Like, y'all need to stop, man.
What do you think about
they're bashing our linebacker Malinois because he's not great in coverage, and he got beat by a slot receiver in coverage. I'm like, he's 6'4", 250. What do you expect? He's not keeping up with a slot receiver. It's called a mismatch. They found it.
So with all the, fire this guy, fire that guy, like if there is anybody that's going to get fired on Miami's staff, who do you think it will be, and who do you think it should be, if you think anybody should be?
I don't think anybody should be fired.
I saw Alonzo1219 posted a video. I didn't even know he still did YouTube anymore, but I got a notification on my phone. He posted a video after that game, calling for the head of the defensive coordinator.
Well, of course, that's what Miami fans do. But here's the thing. You remember, and I'm sure you'll remember this, when Higgins got absolutely torched all game against Wake Forest a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah, of course I do. No, Wiggins. Did you say Wiggins or Higgins?
Wiggins.
Yeah, Wiggins. Nate Wiggins. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was O.J. Frederick in that game.
Yeah.
He has looked good. He has actually looked exceptional as a true freshman in limited snap count because he was in the rotation, but he wasn't the starter. He's looked exceptional as a true freshman this year. He got the start in that game. He played the majority of the snaps, and he got picked on. And he got burned.
Yeah, and he's a good player.
Yes,
look, this is the thing.
What? As long as you don't change things up, the way he's played, the way Zaquan Patterson's played, and a couple others, that secondary is going to be nasty next year.
Yeah, fans overreact to losses. Trust me, I know all about it, and I'm guilty of it too, to some degree. Not quite as much as some other fans are, I don't think. But Daniel Wade in the chat says, "I feel sorry for Coach Coop. His channel is going over scenarios where Miami can move up in the rankings. I've tried explaining to him." Well, you might want to try to explain it to Slim too, because Slim thinks there's a chance they might get in.
Oh, I still think we're in. That's why I made the bet with you.
Yeah, I know.
You guys made a bet?
Yeah, Slim thinks that Miami's getting in the playoffs.
So you made a bet whether they'll get in the playoffs or not?
Yeah.
Yep.
Very interesting.
If Miami's in the playoffs, I win the bet. If Miami's not in the playoffs, Pete wins the bet.
Now, we both win because it's a bottle of rum. So there is no real loser here. It's just who has to pay for the bottle.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
We've done this. We're having and I didn't think about it, but I thought about it after the fact. We're sitting at a tie. You've won a bottle bet. I've won a bottle bet. We have to break the tie somehow.
Yeah, so I'm about to go up 2-1.
I don't think so.
I mean,
listen, if you paid attention to what ESPN has been posting since Saturday, they're turning on Alabama.
Nah, I really don't think so.
They're turning on Alabama.
Now, I
even reposted some of it. ESPN posted this real nice graphic comparing Miami and Alabama on the road versus bowl eligible teams. Alabama was 1-3 and Miami's 4-2.
I get it, but not only non-conference champ, but not even playing in the conference championship and losing to 2 unranked teams, I think that's going to keep you out. Alabama at least has wins over Georgia.
Alabama's lost to 2 unranked teams.
Yeah, but they've got a top 5 win. That's the difference.
Is going to take a hit, in my opinion, Saturday when Texas wins the SEC.
I wish I could have done more to take another hit.
I don't know. The ESPN predictor's got Miami at like a 7% chance of making the playoffs or something.
Yeah, well, that ESPN predictor had us at a 30% chance to win the Florida game. How'd that work out for that ESPN predictor?
Well, that was week 1. They've seen everybody play now. Now, I don't.
And that predictor is no better now than it was in week 1.
Yeah, first of all, look, the predictors are dumb. I agree with you there, but that is where they have. I just don't. I just forget the predictor. I'm predicting they're not making the playoffs. So
we'll find out.
My predictor's better than theirs.
Have you gone over the scenarios? Like if Clemson beats SMU, does that not knock Miami out firmly?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, it does, because SMU would get ahead of Miami.
Yeah, unless they're going to have 3 ACC teams in.
And they're not going to be 3 ACC teams in. There's going to be 1 or 2.
I mean, that's my thinking.
I'm hoping 2 because that means Clemson won.
Yeah.
Well, and see, that's the other thing. If SMU wins, I actually think that raises our chances of getting in.
Yeah, if SMU wins, that might give you a chance, but I still think unless Arizona State loses or Boise State loses, you might be able to sneak in that scenario because the first team out's Alabama.
Well, Boise State doesn't matter because a group of 5 is getting in. So if Boise State loses, they're just going to get replaced by somebody.
Well, they're probably shit. They might. Yeah, who would they get replaced by? The winner of the Army and Tulane game?
Army, Tulane.
That would be
UNLV,
that would be unbelievable. Well, actually, it's the highest ranked. Yeah, I guess it would be. That would be.
It'd be great if Army got.
Imagine if Boise State lost, Army won, and Army got in. It ranked in, like 23rd in the country, and got the got into the playoffs. That would be unbelievable.
Boy, you think Lane's crying now?
Oh yeah, UNLV would get in. What am I thinking about? Yeah, they would be the one in because they would beat Boise State. They would be ranked higher than Army or Tulane. That's right.
You're saying Ole Miss, but a group of 5 team has to get in, right? The highest ranked.
Yep.
Yeah. So the winner of Boise State UNLV is getting in. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm saying that doesn't necessarily mean Ole Miss gets in. They could still. There's a scenario where they're still left out and like a 23rd ranked Army is in.
Hey, you realize how much troll material I'm going to have this offseason if Alabama gets left out over Miami and Florida State got left out for Alabama? Oh, Florida State fans are going to hate me also. It doesn't even matter if Miami wins a game. Florida State fans are going to hate me all summer long.
Well, Florida State is 1 decommit away from having a recruiting class of decommits higher ranked than their current class.
They are. Their decommit recruiting rank right now is 55. Their actual recruiting class is 52.
Wow, that's the craziest stat I think I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it's true. Truth is stranger than fiction if you're a Florida State fan.
Wow. Hey,
and of course, Miami fans and others, there have been like 2 decommits from Miami, so the sky is falling in. But one of them I expected because I think Mario's getting a flip. And the other one, somehow Tennessee fans are cheering that they took a 3-star from us. So whatever makes you feel better, I guess.
Oif Vet, I don't know how to say your name. But he says, would it be crazy if the Gamecocks got in and faced Clemson again in the playoffs? Yeah, it would be crazy, except for you got so screwed by the playoff committee tonight that I don't think South Carolina has a chance of getting in, because there's 3 teams ranked ahead of them that are on the bubble as well: Miami, Ole Miss, and Alabama. I just don't see you jumping all of them.
Do you think they got screwed?
I do. Yeah, I do think they got screwed.
Yeah.
I would have had South Carolina definitely ahead of Ole Miss and Alabama. And we could debate about Miami, but yeah.
Well, I don't think there's a debate because one of those teams has 2 losses. The rest of them have 3. End of discussion.
Yeah, not end of discussion.
No, it really is, though.
It's really not, though.
So should a 2-loss Group of 5 school jump all these guys?
Yeah, right.
No, because Group of 5 is obviously lesser than Power 4.
I think South Carolina has like four wins against currently ranked teams or something like that. It's insane. And to go into Clemson on the road and win is a big deal against a top 15 Clemson team. 12 is what they were ranked last week. So I don't know. I look, South Carolina lost.
Win and you've got nothing to cry about.
South Carolina.
Point blank period.
South Carolina lost to both Alabama and Ole Miss. Ole Miss was in Columbia, and Alabama was on the road. The Alabama game was close. I believe if they played this weekend, South Carolina and Alabama, I think South Carolina might be favored slightly by like 2 points.
See, I actually agree with South Carolina being behind both Ole Miss and Alabama. Like, this is less confusing than the whole round. Like, when Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama all had one loss and they had all beaten each other, like, okay, it really doesn't matter what you do. Somebody's going to have their panties in a twist. But here, 2 of them have beaten the other one. So, and...
To what degree should strength of schedule matter then? Or are you saying it shouldn't matter at all? Because you're saying
strength of schedule is a completely subjective metric.
Not in week 14. It's not.
It's not a subjective metric, though.
It is absolutely subjective.
It is in week 1 because we haven't seen the teams play.
Listen, it absolutely is subjective because who's to say Ole Miss's schedule is tougher than Clemson's or Miami's or tougher than BYU?
It's
just because
Miami's.
Hang on. Based off of what?
Of all.
Based on
give me facts. Quit giving me feelings. Quit giving me a bunch of yelling and crying. Give me facts.
Teams on your schedule currently ranked compared to theirs?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, once again, you can't sit here and throw rankings in somebody's face when you say, oh, these same people that rank teams in the AP but don't watch football when they're voting for the Heisman, those are all the same people. So either what they say matters or what they say doesn't. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
An undefeated Group of 5 school should jump you in the playoff ranking, because who's to say they wouldn't beat your ass?
No, a Power 4 on the same level. Group of 5 is a different.
Well, here it's so I agree with both of you. I agree with Rec Talk definitely that strength of schedule after 14 weeks definitely does matter. I also agree with Slim is the subjectivity of it, because where do we draw the line? Indiana's getting in the playoffs. They have one of the worst strength of schedules in the country. So they got beat down by Ohio State, and every other team they've played is barely 500.
Yeah, I just don't agree with it. That strength of schedule that should not be considered at all just because it helps Miami.
No, I'm not saying just whether it does or doesn't help Miami. But if it doesn't matter over here, then it doesn't matter over here. It can't not matter in this situation, but then all of a sudden matter in this situation.
Okay, well, let me ask it this way. You have to bet your life savings on going undefeated on a schedule, yours or Ole Miss's. Whose schedule would you rather play?
Fine, Ole Miss's. What does it matter?
You'd rather play Ole Miss's. Okay.
What does it matter? Alabama's not a great football team. There's nothing about them that I would worry about lining up with them. Once again, Georgia's getting worse by the week.
All right. So you can say Alabama's not a good football team, but if you played them, that would be the best team that you played all year.
Yes.
Based off of what?
What do you mean based off of what?
They're the most talented team we would have played all year.
They're the best team you played all year. Name a team better.
Georgia Tech.
Exactly. Georgia Tech is better than Alabama today.
Hey.
They lost to Vanderbilt.
You know what, Slim? I'm seeing your point now.
We've come full circle now.
I mean, you want to start looking at losses. Duke is a better football team today than Alabama is.
Oh no.
The Fighting Handy Mannies. They're not, which is another fucking travesty.
Shout out to Duke. They did go 9-3 in Manny's first year, but they're not better than Alabama.
Better than Alabama and Ole Miss.
No.
Yeah, I said it.
No.
Damn, who's Alabama better than nobody?
No, nobody. Yeah. Auburn.
Or Bama.
That's better than Auburn, I think.
Yeah, they're better than Auburn, not better than Vanderbilt.
Hey, Slim, I like this game. How many teams in the ACC are better than Alabama?
All of them. NC State wiped the floor with.
No, I'd be objective about
Syracuse,
it.
Georgia Tech, Clemson, Miami. That's 4. Georgia Tech, that's 5.
Hey, Florida State is not better than Alabama. There you go.
Damn. Is Syracuse better than Alabama?
Yeah, probably. I'm much more worried about Syracuse's ability to move the ball on offense than I am Alabama's.
Yeah, LW says Wake Forest 67, Alabama 3. Yeah.
See, even the Gump Man on my side. Go argue with your mama.
Damn.
The good news is we're going to get to a lot of this. We'll get to see this in the playoff. But this is one of the good things about the 12-team playoff is we're going to get to see some of the ACC and SEC teams play each other in the playoffs, and that'll be interesting to see.
That's true, and I think we can all agree because the common thing a year ago was this was going to devalue regular season games.
Yeah,
and it's done quite the opposite.
Yeah, it totally didn't. I was wrong about that. I'm happy with the 12. Now I don't think they need to go in and start going to 12, 14, and 6. They're going to, but I don't think that they should. I think
See,
they're right where they need to be.
With you, Pete.
Huh?
You had a chance to bring the ACC even with the SEC, and you fucked it up.
How did I do that?
By losing to South Carolina.
We didn't help either.
What? You lost to Syracuse, man. Calm down. Wait.
Okay, that's an ACC team. I'm pushing narrative.
Yeah, we're devouring ourselves, literally.
Well, you know what? Clemson has a chance to redeem themselves. If they make it into the playoffs, what if they knock off an Alabama or somebody like that?
Well, Alabama's not going to be there, so you ain't going to worry about that.
Well, I don't know. I disagree.
They just need Clemson in the opposite bracket. That way, my preseason prediction of a Miami-Clemson national title comes true, and everybody can suck it.
That would be awesome.
There you go.
Talk about pushing narratives.
Yeah, pushing narratives. Did you hear Dabo Sweeney today? God, this guy is such a dork. I love Dabo, but he might be the biggest dork in all of college football.
That's like us too.
He said if we beat SMU this week, we'll get a golden ticket to the Willy Wonka chocolate factory and get to ride the magic elevator or some shit like that. I'm like, what the hell?
Is that why your stream was named that or something?
Yeah, that's the name of the stream.
That's true.
First of all, Willy Wonka, the OG, was a weird movie. That's a weird thing to say.
It is a weird movie, and Dabo's a weird guy. When I saw the clip of him saying that, I thought it was AI. I said, there's no way this is real.
Yeah, it does sound like some random thing you'd have, like you see on Twitter. You're like, what?
Yeah. And then they said, what do you think about, South Carolina making the playoff? Of course, he built up South Carolina and said, oh, yeah, I think they can play with anybody in the country. Of course, he just lost to them. And he goes, hey, what about a South Carolina Clemson national championship game? It's going to happen one day. It's going to happen one day.
No, it's not.
Dabo was on one, man.
I bereaved.
Your favorite coach, Fran Brown, apparently FaceTimed Dabo after they beat Miami.
It's
Oh, I heard
hilarious.
about that, yeah.
Yeah.
He acts like I shouldn't even say a fan. He acts like I would if I won that game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, he acts after games the way Sea Dog and Rec act about Jeff Collins.
He does. I guess I should respect it, but he's a professional. I'm a fat idiot on YouTube.
We got breaking news here.
Breaking news from the PigskinPeete YouTube channel.
I'm assuming this is not a troll job. I don't think it is. Raw for a reason says Troy Stellato, wide receiver for Clemson, just hit the portal. First of all, that doesn't surprise me. Setting that aside, why the fuck are they opening the portal before the season's over?
Okay,
They're not. All that is players saying they're going to.
Speaking of which, Concepcion hit the portal.
Yes.
So that's a big pickup for whoever can get him.
When does the portal officially open then?
The next week?
Signing day is next week, right?
Maybe it's the week after.
No, signing day is this week, isn't it?
Tomorrow, isn't it?
Is it? It's tomorrow.
I feel like we should know this shit.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is tomorrow. Well,
They changed it, so
all of the wind
forgiven this year.
Yeah, all of the wind went out of my sails as far as signing day when Clemson had 7 decommits in the past 60 days, 4 top 100 players. So they're gonna. Yeah, they're barely going to top the top 30, and this is the worst recruiting class Dabo's ever had. Well, of course, Dabo says no big deal. We're right where we want to be,
Yeah.
So
This was on my whiteboard months ago.
I mean, maybe I should be worrying because we've lost a couple of guys, but for some reason, I'm just not. Like, I just don't worry about recruiting with Mario Cristobal there. That and he has a habit, or at least so far, of a few big-time flips right there at the end.
we did get a 4-star offensive lineman that flipped yesterday back to us, so that replaced the guy that we lost yesterday. So we had one decommit that went to Michigan, and we had one that flipped from I forget where. Was it Georgia Tech? Offensive lineman? I can't remember. Somebody in the chat knows.
Did you get Hassenhoodle?
From Raven Gap, yeah, we
dropped
this
him.
isn't even Cope. If that's true, we cut ties with him like 3 weeks ago.
I don't know if it was him or not.
Yeah, well, that's like the 3-star that flipped to Tennessee. Like, they had been reporting, the recruiting people had been reporting.
Thank you, James.
that he had been
Kentucky.
trying to play Tennessee and Miami back and forth to get more money. And, like, Mario was going to cut bait with him anyway.
Yeah, the guy flipped from Kentucky to Clemson. That's right.
Okay, it's not the same guy.
No, not the same guy.
Where is Miami ranked right now? Are they?
And last time I looked, they were like 9 or 10 last time I looked.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
So
they,
it's probably dropped a little bit with a couple of decent. Like, one of them, it was funny, but I kind of expected was a 4-star safety flipped from us to Florida, which is a little surprising that he flipped to Florida. But I expected him to leave anyway, because I've said that Mario was going to flip DJ Pickett.
Portal opens on the 9th, closes on the 28th. So we're about to see a lot of portal players here in the next few weeks. Bulldog JC is you could type that. You typed that at least 10 times. No matter how many times you type, it doesn't make it true.
Yes, what does poor little Georgia fan think?
He says SMU is going to beat Clemson. Yeah, I'm willing to take bets on that. I think Clemson's going to win the game. So.
Such is the brain power of the average Georgia fan. All he can do is type the same ridiculous statement over and over.
It's bad.
I think I really like Clemson in this game.
I think you're going to have problems, like you said. Their strengths play to your weaknesses, so you're going to have problems.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, first of all, we get one major piece back on defense that we've been missing for the past 4 weeks. The interior of the defensive line, DeMonte Capehart, 6th-year senior, graduate. Probably going to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft this year. We've missed him big time, especially in the run game. So getting him back will be huge. He almost played against South Carolina. He went out there to practice, but I guess he wasn't 100%, so they didn't put him in. But he should be back this week.
That was the other funny thing Miami fans were bitching about was, Damari Brown really didn't have an impact in the game. But it's also the first game Damari Brown's played since Florida.
Yeah, JC, you want to do 50? Yeah, just send it to my Cash App or my PayPal. And if Clemson wins, I'll keep your money. If they lose, I'll send you back 100. It's the link's in the description.
Yeah. Post haste.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Just make sure when you send it, just put Bulldog JC bet on bet on SMU or whatever, whatever. So I know that it's you. I don't know your government name.
Traveling Fools knows all of our government names now.
He has the power now.
Oh, speaking of that, I paid the cruise off today.
Yeah, I called and talked to him. I was having trouble with the website. I'm gonna do that here.
I had a problem with the website too. I had to call. Just make sure when you do call, because here's the problem I had. I just went to the first available customer service representative, and I gave her our booking number for the for the slob group, and she hadn't. It didn't come up. She said you should have an extension, which we do have an extension. I just didn't fucking put it in there. This is the extension right here. So screenshot that. Use that extension and it'll take it right to them. Give them that booking number L1B L72 and they'll pull you right up.
Yeah.
Oh. But Rec, are you going on the cruise?
Is Pope shitting his hat?
Okay. Have you paid it off yet?
No, I'm actually glad you reminded me.
You've got, well...
We do have until the 22nd to pay it off.
Yeah, so it says on here the 15th. I think we did that just so people wouldn't wait till the last minute, but it's actually the 22nd, I believe, like Slim said.
Yeah.
So, but I wouldn't wait.
If you're going to get any of the extras, like if you're paying for, the excursions or Wi-Fi service aboard or anything like that, that just has to be taken care of before more than 24 hours before we set sail.
That's expensive too. It like Wi-Fi. There's a guy that called into my show said it was like $20 a day on his cruise.
No insurance.
$20 a day?
That he was going to Mexico, and that's what he said.
Fuck all that.
Oh no, there's one. Like if you're now, granted, obviously this is for families. This is for a bunch of devices connected. It's like $75 a day for the internet service.
That's just ridiculous. I guess I'm just going to go with that.
I heard it's not great, but I mean, here's the thing. I'm not gonna have any choice, and my wife's gonna want to talk to the kids.
Yeah. So hold on now. Is the internet $60 or whatever $20 a day per cabin?
No, per person in the cabin.
Per person.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess I'll be sending up smoke signals then.
Yeah, if he talks stuff, he knows he's going to be paying it. Yes.
Because damn, that means for a family, you could easily spend like $500 in a week.
Yeah, that's
just on
insane.
internet. That's like as much as the cruise.
I got suckered into buying that insurance too. That's what they try to sell you. So basically, if for some reason you miss the boat, you don't get there on time, or you have some sort of medical emergency on the boat, then you get refunded. It was $50 per passenger for that.
I got it too. I mean, that's just smart. I know I was talking to TF about it, and he said some of his, some of the people he knows that take cruises quite regularly are going. And like he said, don't book an excursion.
No, you don't have to.
And I'm not going to.
No. Yeah.
But if there's a beach and a bar nearby, that's about all I really need.
Yeah, right. And you can still go on an excursion if you decide to at the last minute. You don't have to book it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got the Cash App, JC. We're good. $50. You're on, sir.
Hey, I give JC credit. Bolder than the average YouTube commenter.
Yeah.
Because most of them you'd have never seen one red son of that.
Well, I mean, according to Vegas, he's in the right. I mean, SMU is favored by 2 points, 2.5 points.
I haven't looked at any of the lines for conference championship games yet.
Aren't there different when you're over the ocean, like you're out to sea,
What?
like maritime law and all that?
Yeah, once you're in international waters, yeah. That's why gambling is okay on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So will there be ladies of the night on the cruise?
Probably. Good. I don't know. I've never looked for one.
I'll ask the cruise lady when I pay off.
Yeah.
I mean, no, listen, I guarantee you there are sugar mamas to be found for rec talk on
Yeah,
that.
go to the concierge and say, I'm looking for a lady of the night. And I'm sure they'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just
get
look for some
stabbed in the
45-year-old lady sitting at the bar by herself, man. Yeah, we may not see rec for the rest of the weekend.
Well, you gotta do
Yeah.
what you gotta do.
Hey, I ain't mad at you. Get your sugar mama. Power to you.
Oh, a sugar mama? Hell yeah.
Yeah, you'll be able to. There'll be plenty of fish if you're going fishing. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You just got to bring the right bait.
Gotcha. Yeah, I heard you.
A cruise lot lizard.
Is the right bait, but we'll find out.
Nature Boy says a cruise lot lizard. Is that a thing? Is there such thing as
know.
cruise
Is that a
hose?
Be a sea-doo lizard or something.
A cruise hoe. Damn.
But whatever the next ACC show is when we get back, I'll give you a full report.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm looking for a full report while we're on the ship. Fuck wait until we get back.
Oh yeah, I definitely. Hey guys, well, look what I just did. There she is.
Yeah.
Rec is going to come back from this cruise on his second marriage.
It's a good thing you don't drink, Rack. You might make some bad decisions.
Nah, that's a rookie mistake, man. Yeah, you getting some hairy situations.
He said he ain't no scrub.
Somebody, I watched a YouTube video, and I don't know how true this is, about the casinos on cruise ships. They don't have to adhere to the same like restrictions as far as like setting their slot machines and all that kind of thing that they do in the States because it's international waters. So they can rig their slot machines to not pay out. It's basically what he was saying. I don't know if any of that's true or not. Does somebody know anything about that?
So they can scam you, and
Basically is what he was saying. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're not applicable to American laws because they're not even American-based companies.
Yeah. So I mean, if you go to a casino in the States, I mean, they have to adhere. They're very strict about that kind of thing. It has to pay out a certain amount of a percentage. You know, every slot machine does. But I don't know if you go in the international waters if that applies anymore. You know.
we'll have to do our own underground.
I'll just remind them I'm an American and I'll make a call to the United States Navy on their asses.
Like, could they put extra, you know, like shitty cards in a hand in a deck of cards instead of giving you the normal amount, they just put a bunch of twos in there instead of aces, you know? I mean, I don't know.
They deal off the bottom.
Yeah.
Just keep giving you like fives and
I don't know.
sevens and blackjack.
Yeah, see, Vandy Dandy says cruise casinos don't pay out. See? I don't know.
And you're not going to be able to afford internet to figure out what happened.
I got the brown stuff.
Well, the last time I went on a cruise, I lost a bunch of money in the casino. I'm blaming it on that.
Yeah.
It wasn't my fault. It was they scammed me.
Just like South Carolina, you got screwed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still love all these Georgia fans running around the internet trying to defend how that was not targeting in that game.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the bad calls in that game. What do you guys think about that? It was clearly targeting.
I thought the PI was worse than the no.
Yeah.
The no or the PI that caused them to score or whatever was worse.
Shit, how about that wicked hold? What was that on the game tying drive?
Yeah.
Where he basically had dude in a rear naked choke?
Yeah.
I mean, there are bad calls. Like, we had 3 shots to win that game.
Yeah.
Twice back to back and overtime, and we didn't do it. But, like, C-Dog and I were talking about this earlier. It's hilarious. Like, we've got all these comments about us being soft. And it's like, what else do we have to do? We stream for 6 hours.
No, I said this. Yeah, I said this earlier. I was like, we streamed for 6 hours, and then we stayed on for an hour afterwards talking about it. We both made videos after the game, and we even went on to Big Dog Brett's stream for like an hour and a half the next day and talked about the entire game in excruciating detail while we were on our way to our friend's funeral. So I don't know.
Yeah.
How soft are we? I don't know. We're soft, I guess.
You just gotta ignore that stupid shit.
I'm hearing it a lot though. But
really?
Yeah, I get a lot of stupid shit. Somebody commented today and said Haynes King is a running back and not a quarterback. He had more passing yards than Carson Beck.
Yeah, what does that make Carson Beck?
Yeah. Georgia fans are really stupid. I had one tell me that accuse us of having bandwagon fans.
What?
Yeah. I mean, it really brings out the stupids this time of year.
Georgia Tech bandwagon fan. That's the first I've ever heard of that.
Yeah.
Coming from a Georgia fan, what percentage of their fan base are bandwagon fans? 80% of them?
Oh.
I'll tell you what, the concentration of Georgia fans on YouTube was higher in 2021 than it was in 2020. So
I don't know, Brian. I didn't see them making any excuses. I haven't heard either one of you make excuses about losing that game, other than the fact that you lost it. Now,
everybody in the country was saying, like, it's not Georgia Tech fan, or not just Georgia Tech fans that are saying it was the refs. I mean,
when it's certainly not us. That's why.
Yeah.
When was it? When I don't even remember what Lou was yelling at me about. I'm like, I didn't say that. What are you talking about? How can
Georgia fans?
I mean, Brett, that's no different than me catching shit for what other dumb Miami fans say.
Well, that's fair because fuck you. But I'm talking about me though. It's different.
Rec Talk, you sicked the Georgia Tech fan base on me for no reason.
Yeah, I forget I made a video about
they all of a sudden, after you posted that video, I started getting these random comments on one of the last videos I posted that had nothing to do with Georgia Tech about Pete, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to Georgia Tech, just talk about Clemson. I'm like, what?
Do you know how good that makes me feel?
That's awesome.
Like an army of people I can sick on somebody.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I never had Georgia Tech fans mad at me before. That was a first.
Well, don't fuck with me again.
I guess not.
Don't say that we don't have buy-in, because we do. We freaking do.
Yeah, you got buy-in, so somebody comes in there and doubles Brent Key's salary.
We'll see, Slim.
Bro, first of all, South Carolina, that was all but a done deal to take our AD. We're going to sign him to a 5-year extension. Buster got thrown a shit ton of money by a few different people. Hadn't signed with any of them. So I don't, this narrative that we're just going to get picked apart, it's falling apart.
Well, nobody wants to go. Nobody wants to go to South Carolina. Let's be real here. I mean,
Pete, that doesn't help the narrative I'm building right now.
I'm sorry.
He's trying to push a narrative, and that don't help him. But by the way, it is absolutely true.
We're only pushing a narrative in response to your narrative.
Guess what? My narrative makes sense when you're only paying your coach under $3 million a year.
Counter narrative. Okay.
I mean, you're Miami cheap circa 2012.
What?
Oh yeah.
We're Miami 2012?
No, I said you're Miami cheap circa 2012.
Look, man, it's no secret that we haven't had buy-in. And I'm not saying that we've arrived or where you know.
I'm not talking about buy-in. I'm talking about cold hard facts and cold hard cash. And you can talk about Brent Key's a Georgia Tech guy till you're blue in the face. You know what he likes a whole lot more than he likes Georgia Tech? It's fucking money.
Can't Georgia Tech sell one of those research facilities and give Brent Key a raise? What are we doing here?
Probably.
I mean, do we really need to cure cancer? Georgia Tech needs to win now.
I agree.
Cancer can wait. We got a freaking conference to win. No, I mean, they have a textile building. Like, who gives a shit about that? Sell that.
Hey, quit designing shitty interstate systems and put more money in football.
Well, they engineered 7 wins, which is exactly what I picked them to win, by the way.
That's
surprising. Most people didn't have us at that. I mean, Vegas had us at 5.5, I think, didn't they?
That was just silly.
I mean, I had them at 6 or 7. I mean, I made fun of Sea-Dog talking about 8. We might even win 9. Now that I
mean, we could have. Yeah,
well, your aunt could be your uncle if she had balls.
I know.
Hey, to make it work, SEC Dog says Pete Sellers went out there, and I don't know how they got him. He's talking about he doesn't know how South Carolina got him. Clemson didn't even offer him. Now, again, I'm happy with the quarterback we have. I do think Sellers is an absolute baller, though, and they're lucky to have him.
Do you think they keep him?
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a lot of money thrown at him.
Yeah, I think they'll keep him.
So I know this is like old, but it might as well be years ago.
Stewart's going to get way more money thrown at him.
Sellers has he has family ties to the university, too. It's either his dad or one of his uncles or somebody played for South Carolina.
So for some reason in NCAA, this isn't or the new college football game. This isn't like a isolated incident. In like a ton of people's dynasty, including mine, Lenora Sellers transfers to Clemson and wins the Heisman. It happened in mine and several other people I've seen like on Twitter. They're like, what? Yeah.
You realize that may actually be the death of Jackpot if that happened.
Oh my God!
I think he almost died last Saturday. I mean, he was about 3 seconds away from having to call an ambulance. For real.
I think the most unrealistic part is Dabo taking the transfer.
Well, he's going to have to this year.
Yeah, and he's already kind of alluded to. He hasn't said it outright, but you know, every single time he does an interview, they ask him about the transfer portal, and to his credit, like he doesn't get mad about it. But anyway, he's basically said, "Look, if we have bad players, we're going to replace them with good players. If we have holes to fill or roster spots that need filled, we're going to try to fill them through the transfer portal." And there's not a single year I could think of that's more true than this year. So here's what I predict. I think they will get a couple. They won't go out and do Florida State and get 10 or 14, but they'll get 1 or 2. And well, I don't think they have a choice. So
no, they don't.
I don't think they will. I don't think he's going to get a single transfer. I think he's going to give all those walk-on scholarships and then cut the ones that he has to.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I doubt that. And I even have an idea for how you could raise all the money to sign the portal players you need to today. Have the Collins show and do a Tyler from Spartanburg Tuesday, where he gets to grill Dabo every Tuesday, and then all that money goes to your NIL.
The problem that you have there, Rick, is that New Spring Church is still in debt for getting Trevor Lawrence there.
What? What?
Yeah, don't even go down to this fucking conspiracy theory that South Carolina fans have had for the past 15 years about New Spring Church.
It's their very own scam.
This was their response to Clemson climbing the mountain and winning national titles, and they just couldn't believe why they weren't the ones doing it. So they go, "Oh, they must be funneling money through that church that Dabo goes to."
Hey, man, is it a conspiracy when New Spring Church takes out a third mortgage for no reason? I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. There's zero. There's zero. Out of one side of the fans' mouths, they go, Dabo is against paying players, but the other side of the mouth, they go, he's funneling money through a church to pay players. Which one is it?
Yeah, he's like Ozark, money funnel.
Yeah. Dabo is a kingpin.
He's ahead of the curve.
He's ahead of the curve. When they send that collection plate around, it goes right to players.
Yeah, they just have your team line up at the end of the pews.
Yeah.
Just pass it to them. That's a good idea.
The funny thing is they have a New Spring Church in Columbia, too. It's like one of those mega churches with multiple locations, you know?
Oh, well, that would be a good one to funnel through.
I'm pretty sure that Shane Beamer goes to New Spring Church in Columbia, so...
Well, not to go down a rabbit hole, but like at Joel Osteen's church, they found $600,000 a while back just hidden behind a toilet.
That guy is an absolute genius.
Who?
Joel Osteen.
God wants to give you money, but he wants to give it to
That guy is an absolute
first.
genius.
I've really thought about starting my own church and doing
How is he
that.
a genius?
He's convinced poor people to give him all their money.
He came to Charleston earlier this year. He sold at the North Charleston Coliseum, which is the big venue here. I don't know how many it holds, 40,000 people or 50,000 people or something. He sold that thing out 3 nights in a row. And the tickets were like $400 a piece. I mean, it's insane. That guy's printing
like
money.
Swift.
Yeah, he's like Taylor Swift.
Listen,
Yeah.
Say what you want about Joel Osteen. I mean, the government wants 50, 60%. Fuck, the church and the mob only take 10.
Yeah, 55,000 seats in the Coliseum. That man sold out 3 nights in a row. If he would have done 7 shows, he'd have sold out 7.
So that you can buy tickets to go to church.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, but it's a fucking good church. All right.
SEC Dog's one of his fans. He's mad at us for ragging on. I didn't say I'm not ragging on him. I said he was a genius. What do you want from me?
I am.
I mean, he's positive about life. Yeah, I'd be positive about life too if I was stealing money from everybody, fucking making $10 million a week.
Yeah. He has like a $20 million quote unquote parsonage.
Oh, anyway. Yeah. Anyway, we've gone up. We're talking about Joel Osteen now. I think it's time to get off of here.
I'm sorry.
SEC Dog has a point. Yeah. So. So anyway, Clemson's going to take SMU to the woodshed. I'm going to take Bulldog JC's money. Joel Osteen's going to take SEC Dog's money.
I'm taking PigskinPete's liquor.
And Slim's taking my liquor. There you go. That's pretty much
Buy some of that Hillinol from
before we get off here. So obviously Georgia Tech making a bowl game. Is there a team out there that if you had a 2 or 3 teams you could name that you want to play just for entertainment purposes, or maybe it's some sort of rivalry, who would that be?
We talked about this today. My pick, I don't know about Reptile. Well,
we have different picks. Give me yours.
We have different picks. My pick is Michigan for one reason. I have a really good video idea.
Michigan, that would be interesting.
I have a really good video idea if we play Michigan.
I would like to see that. Georgia Tech and Michigan. Sign me up for that.
Yeah.
Now,
the other ones I've talked about have been Florida and Southern Cal.
I want Florida so we can clean sweep the state.
Yeah. I wanted Florida until I came up with this idea for a video. So,
If Miami doesn't get in, give me Colorado.
ooh,
That'd be a good bowl.
Yeah, I would like. Yeah, that would be good.
that'd be a lot of fun.
Dennis Wilson wants to know how Clemson made the ACC championship. Well, it's very simple. It's called math.
Wait, hold on. Do you guys think Shador and Travis Hunter and them opt out of their bowl game?
No. Oh, did you hear what Dion said?
No.
He said that sitting out bowl games is not an option around here.
Oh wow.
Now how he's going to stop him from doing it, I don't know. But
Force that, I don't know.
But
I imagine his son. Play for him.
I think they'll both play. But I do think there will be. I mean, if you're transferring out or leaving, like, why do you give a fuck what Dion says? I mean, hey, fuck you. I'm sitting out. What are you going to do about it? You know.
Yeah.
I mean, but I do think Hunter and Shador will play, which is good. I'm glad they are.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I like the Michigan one. What about you, Slim? Well, first of all, you think you're making the playoffs. All right, let's just play devil's advocate here. You don't make the playoffs. You're saying Colorado?
Yeah, give me Colorado if we don't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's fun. You know, we play Colorado first game next season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we open up with them.
It's on American soil this time, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, that's
It's
good.
in Boulder,
It's in Boulder.
Oh, wow.
which I'm planning on going to. I was born in.
Really?
You were born there?
My dad was in the military, so I was born at Fort Carson. Which
That's
is
in Boulder?
Colorado Springs.
Oh, Colorado Springs. How far is Colorado Springs from Boulder?
I don't know, but I was planning on making like a week trip of it and seeing
Yeah.
stuff.
I didn't know you were planning to go up there. That's cool.
Yep.
Maybe me and the wife will go too. That'd be fun.
Hell yeah, dude.
She wanted to go to Ireland, but obviously it was a long way, and I thought we were going to get our ass kicked too, to be honest.
Is there any chance that if you guys go to Colorado that Sea Dog and Rec Talk take some mushrooms?
Zero chance.
Zero chance?
Yeah.
Yeah, zero. I don't like.
Now,
not
if we
being in
now if we
control
head
of
up
our
there,
mind.
I'll tell you the chances of us getting some ice cream.
Fuck
Ice
yeah,
cream? What are you, 5?
dude. Yeah, we came all the way to Colorado. Dog.
No, you got to eat some mushrooms. Don't you want to meet God other than going to a Joel Osteen concert?
Nah,
I want the
brother,
best ice cream that state has to offer.
to have him tell me that everything's going to be great.
I'm absolutely disappointed in the both of you.
Dude, that can go quite badly for you.
Yeah, you can get a brain freeze out of this fucking world, I guess.
What can go bad
Yeah,
for you?
there
Ice
was a
cream?
pilot that
You can come back a little more portly than you went.
I'm powerful enough without psychedelics.
Mushrooms are completely safe, dude. There's nothing going to happen to you. I mean, you might jump off a bridge, but physically nothing's going to happen to you.
That sounds oxymoronic, but yeah.
Hey, just have the ice cream first, and you'll have a little bit more cushion for when you land.
Someone's going to lace our ice cream with mushrooms.
Let me tell you something. Ice cream is more bad for you than mushrooms are.
Well,
Mushrooms don't give you the diabetes.
Speaking of which, do you guys
Pete.
do you guys prefer gingerbread stuff or pumpkin stuff?
It's a great question.
I prefer heterosexual stuff.
Oh man,
I'll answer it. I know he won't answer it. It's gingerbread.
gingerbread. Yes,
God,
Gingerbread or pumpkin.
gingerbread is the shit.
Oh my god. I prefer gingerbread mushrooms. That's what I prefer. All right. Yeah, we're definitely off the rails now. All right. Thank you, Rec Talk, for coming on.
Yeah, see you, man.
All right. See you later.
Wash my hands of this weirdness.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Slim, as usual.
Yep.
Have a good night, buddy.
Yep.
All right. Sea Dog, we did it again.
Yeah.
This time next week, we'll be on here celebrating a Clemson victory. And
So Clemson victory also
is it victory for the ACC?
it's a victory for the ACC. I would be cheering for that reason, but also for Georgia Tech. It gives us a better bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm all for it.
Yeah. Go Tigers. Everybody should be rooting for Clemson if you're not a Clemson fan, if you're an ACC fan.
Yeah, who wants the freaking Group of 5 team to come in here and win it?
Everybody except for Miami, probably.
Right.
But look, Miami fans should not be mad at Clemson. They should be mad at themselves. I mean,
there's really no excuse for Miami losing.
Yeah. Yeah, they blew a 21-point lead. I don't want to hear about it.
Jeez, man.
Oh. Yeah. All right, Sea-Dog, another great show. Thank you, buddy.
All right, no problem.
Talk to you later. That's going to do it for me as well, everybody. Tune in tonight if you're a bouncy ball fan. And seriously, this is actually a big game tonight in basketball. Clemson and Kentucky. Clemson is only a 1-point underdog to Kentucky tonight. I don't know where the game is, but it doesn't really matter. I'll be watching it. And I'll be betting on it probably too, actually. But anyway, I'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. for the midday show on my second channel. If you're not subscribed to the second channel, I don't know why you're not. There is a link to that channel in the description of this video. And then I'll be back tomorrow night, the return of the call-in show. Didn't do one last week because of the holiday. But I'll be back tomorrow night at 10 p.m. for the call-in show right here on the Pigskin Pete channel. Have a great night, everybody.